So in 2023, Chelsea have only 5 wins and they've lost 13 times. Again, look at the age, look at the wage. Look at the age, look at the wage. If a fool does foolish things, can you still be angry at him? The issue are the owners. The issue is the direction. The issue is the recruitment. And what these guys have done is you've turned Chelsea into a mid-table club. That's the reality right now. This is the reality. So we have to start here. This is real. It's not the Matrix. It's not a computer program. It's not a dream. That's the reality. 6 games played, 1 dub, 2 draws, 3 losses, 5 goals scored. I think Haaland is on 8 or 9. I think Haaland is on 8 or 9. 6 goals conceded, GD of -1, 5 points. That is your reality. And Chelsea are in a state of emergency. It gets real. It gets really real. But let me show you something that's even much more fun. This is the Premier League table for the year of 2023. Because remember, people say without Tuchel's points, who knows where Chelsea would be? So this is the Premier League table in the year of our Lord, 2023. Chelsea in 2023 have 5 wins, 10 draws, 13 losses, with 28 games played and 25 points. So in 2023, Chelsea have only 5 wins and they've lost 13 times. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. But that's the key one there is, okay, you have your draws and your losses. 5 wins. 5 wins in 2023. So guys, look, man, what's happened to Chelsea, it's real. It's real. You look at these results. This is from August. Liverpool 1-1. Then the 3-1 to West Ham. Guys, okay, the first loss, Chukwuemeka Emeka injured. Okay, Luton Town, Wimbledon. So after Luton Town and Wimbledon, you thought maybe something. But remember, at the Luton Town game, I said, shout out to the win, but should we be repping a dub against a team who have their grandmom's living room as a home stadium? With all due respect. So I said, okay, this is cool, but we cannot rep a win against Luton Town and AFC Wimbledon. Then it got real. At the crib, 1-0 loss to Nottingham Forest. 0-0 draw against Bournemouth, and 1-0 L against Villa. These were games you'd expect with specifically Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth. But let's be real. Chelsea Football Club, of how we know them, Chelsea Football Club, of how Drogba knew them, beats Forest, beats Bournemouth, beats Villa. Those are three dubs of the Chelsea that we thought we knew. But the Chelsea of 2023, this Chelsea, come to Stamford Bridge, anyone can get it. Come to Stamford Bridge, anyone can get it. Anyone can get it. So the purpose of this video is, what are Chelsea Football Club? Because people are looking at this at a micro level. Poch out. It ain't about Poch out. You see, you focusing on Pochettino, that's the myopic view. You're not looking at the bigger picture. And in life, when you grow older and when you mature, always look at the bigger picture. What causes said events? What is the primal mover? Because you look at one thing and one element, so, okay, cool, this element is bad. I know it's bad. But what's caused that? What's caused that? No. And I keep going back as to what was the prime mover that set off the domino effect. You always have to look at the prime mover. But before we really go look at that prime mover, I want to bring this up. I want to bring this up for you guys just to view, because it's a quote that I feel is important, and it's crucial as we try to figure out just what are Chelsea. So this is from the GOAT, Uncle Moon. When you start accepting defeats just because your team played well and just because your players gave their best, a performance for people to be proud of, I think when you get used to it, that's when the big clubs stop being big clubs. And this is where we have to understand things. So let's just build up here, because I prepared for this vid, and I want to just show you 2 case studies here, which will now lead to what our prime mover is and where the real direction should be headed towards. So I want you to take a look at this. There we go. So these are the salaries of people ending 100K and over. You look at the ages and look at the weekly salaries. So this is Exhibit A, because see, Exhibit B is the key exhibit. The Exhibit B is the key exhibit. Let's just look at Exhibit A. So Sterling 28, 325,000. Rhys James 250,000. Got Chilwell 200,000. Fofana 200,000. And then we now look at Nkunku 195. Then look at Enzo Fernandez 180. Cucurella 175. Caicedo 150. Sa 120. Thiago Silva 110. So we have four players. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 players are 200,000 above. Only 1 player is earning 300,000 above. But that's the key thing. Only 4 players are 200,000 and above. And why is that significant? It's because we live in modern football. In modern football, your star player, your main star player, has to be earning like at least 200, 250,000 and above. That's just the reality of football that we're living in right now. But when you just look at those players and how much they're earning, I am now slowly guiding you towards what's really going on here and really the intricacies of this Ponzi scheme and where the prime mover really is. So now, let me give you Exhibit B. Now, this is the key exhibit, Exhibit B. So let me just expand this a little bit more so you can see this clearly. So, again, the key thing, look at the age, look at the wage. Look at the age, look at the wage. Look at the age, look at the wage. Mudryk, 22, 100,000. Starter. Badiashile, 22, 90,000. He's a starter. Desasi, 25. Okay, he's a bit older. 80,000. Cole Palmer, 21, 75,000. Nico Jackson, the main striker, 22, 65,000. Robert Sanchez, 25, 60,000. Conor Gallagher, somehow the captain, 23, 50,000. Madueke, 21, 50,000. He's a starter. Gusto is a starter, 20, 45,000. Lavia, he's brought in to be a starter, 19, 45,000. Ugo Chuko, he started the last game, 19, 45,000. And Armando Broja, 22, 40,000. So can you see what's going on here? Guys, so all these guys are sub. So Exhibit B is these guys are 100,000 and below. So we took Mudryk to one side. From Badiashile down, 9, they are all sub 100,000. Badiashile is a starter. See, when he's fit, Badiashile is a starter. Desas is a starter. Cole Palmer was bought for 45 million to be a starter. Nico Jackson is a starter. Sanchez is a starter. Conor Gallagher is a starter. Madueke is in and out, but supposed starter. Gusto is pretty much a starter now with Rhys James injured. Lavia is said to be a starter. And all these guys, Broja is a starter. So the core of your team and guys who are starters in your team all sub 100,000. And that's very similar to a club on the coast like Brighton Football Club. And this goes to my last video, which said this policy was not here to win. This policy was here to flip. Again, look at the age, look at the wage. Look at the age, look at the wage. You're getting orphans who don't have that much cachet because you're young and you're only getting into the game. So therefore, they don't have any cachet to ask for 300,000 or 250,000. Because they are young and they don't really have much skin in the game, you can give them that 150,000. You can give them that 90,000, that 80,000, that 70,000. Whereas other big clubs that want to win trophies, you've got to put down the 200. You've got to put down the 250. You've got to put down the 180. You've got to give those guys their wages. So, you see, so much has been said about your boy. His tactics not being great. Why are you playing Colwell as a left back or a left-sided centre back? Why don't you play back four? Why are you betraying what you said during preseason? Why are you playing guys out of position? Enzo is a central midfielder. He won your fellow countryman. This guy's from your damn country, and he won your country their third WC, been voted the best young player as a central midfielder, but he's been played out of position for Conor Gallagher. Doesn't make any sense. So you can put all those things towards towards Pochettino. But this is what I say. If a fool does foolish things, can you still be angry at him? If a fool, and you know he's a fool, does foolish things, can you criticize him? You can't criticize him because he's a fool. Now, if a wise man or a smart man or a brilliant man does foolish things, you have to criticize him. You have to chastise him and say, yo, you're better than this. What are you doing? You're a smart guy. Why are you doing this? That is stupid. So you have to criticize him because you know he can do better. But if a man is foolish and all he knows how to be is to be a fool and he does foolish things, how do you criticize him? So we knew what Pochettino was. He's a decent coach. But he's not great. He's not amazing. He doesn't have an amazing resume. The biggest achievement that he had was taking Tottenham to a UCL final where he wet the bed by benching Lucas Moura and playing Harry Kane, who hadn't played for 2 months and proceeded to give you a disaster class. Because see, that UCL final was key to know everything about Pochettino. That was key. Because that was a big boy decision you have to make. Even though it was an easy decision, because the obvious decision for that UCL final, Tottenham's biggest game in their history, was if it is broke, don't fix it. The people that got us here, we're going to start here. Most likely, you being the weaker team, you're going to be a goal down. So what you do is you start with the Lucas Moura, you start with the team that's got you here. When you go a 1-0 down, which you will be, because Liverpool are the better team, then Kane, go up. Let's see whether we can do something. So you have Kane as a substitute because you know you need something. You need to throw the kitchen sink. You need to just throw something to try to get back in the game. And that's where a Kane can come off the bench. But what you don't do is break the equilibrium and break the flow and the chemistry that's got you to that UCL final. But because it was the English media that put pressure upon him, or you've got to play Kane because this is Captain Kane, it's King Kane, he's the face of England, he fell under the pressure of having to play Kane, and therefore he messed his team up. And any chance Tottenham had to maybe do something amazing in that final was taken away by Pochettino by that boneheaded decision that he made, where you could have still played Kane by bringing him off the bench to try and change the course of the game and get a goal back. So that was the moment in which, okay, I now know what this guy's about. Decent coach, but he ain't no Pep, he ain't no Mourinho, he has no balls, he has no cojones, he doesn't have that character. You can't blame a fool for doing foolish things. You have to look at the prime mover. I don't want to hear Poch out, sack Poch. No. We all knew who Poch was. We all knew who Potter was, even though Potter was actually better. But we knew who Poch was. The issue isn't Pochettino. The issue are the guys who had Pochettino. Because what you need to understand is what is really going on here. What is really going on here is this is a scheme. It's a scheme. So because it's a scheme, you have to be part of the scheme. And anybody who's not part of the scheme, we don't want you. The scheme is young players for a manageable wage, bring down those costs, and hopefully flip them for a profit in the future. Try and win some games, but it is what it is. Because they are super young, we can't expect to win any trophies. We can't expect to get a top 5. If we do, that's a bonus. But that's not the priority. The priority is just help to develop them and just coast in the league. Just coast. But the beauty about karma is this, and that's the beauty about karma. You see, because of this, people will now start asking questions about the scheme and what's really going on here. See, if Chelsea were like 7th, 6th, 5th, nobody will question the recruitment. But, this is great. But Chelsea are doing so badly, and they are so historically trash that guys are asking, they're like, okay, what's going on here? And what's going on here is this is a scheme. Pochettino ain't the issue. Tactics, substitutions. No, that's not the issue. Because you're bringing in a guy who is a decent manager in a horrible situation. A great manager would find this Chelsea situation hard. Think about it. Put Pep, Klopp in this situation. They'd find it hard. Pep Guardiola, the main guy, top manager. Put him in this position where, sorry, we can't give you your super technical players. You have to work with these youngsters. You have to only buy players who are sub 23 or 25 and under. And we're not going to give you any experienced players to buy. Pep can succeed. So Pep wouldn't even take the role because it's like, I'm sorry, I can't win with these kids. And there is a quote out there of Pep saying you cannot win with kids. So arguably the best manager in the world right now couldn't work under this condition. So if Pep couldn't succeed in these conditions, what makes you think Pochettino would? So all you guys say, Poch. Put any manager under these chains with these absolutely stupid restrictions that are put onto him in terms of the recruitment, it's going to be hard to succeed. So Poch is not the issue. He's not the issue. Sorry, not the issue. If they sack Poch, they're just going to get another yes man. They're not going to get a Pep, a Klopp, and Mourinho. They're just going to get another yes man who can step in line with their boneheaded strategy, which is of primarily recruiting only young players to try to compete in one of the toughest leagues in the world. It's stupid. It's completely and utterly stupid. And look, we'll see what happens because, let me bring it. So, November. Oh, no, sorry. No, before we go. October. There we go, October. Chelsea should beat Burnley. Fulham is up in the air, but it could be a win. I can't give you guarantees at Arsenal. I can't give you guarantees of Brentford. But you see, for these owners, you best hope you get something against Burnley, Fulham, and Brentford. Arsenal is tricky because they're one of the best teams in the league, and Chelsea are horrendous. But it gets even much more fun because you look at November now. Tottenham away, look at how well they're playing. Forget Man City, forget that, and Newcastle away. It gets real. And then you look at December, Brighton, United, then you have Everton, Sheffield United, Wolves, Palace, and then Luton. But up until that Everton game, it gets real. It gets really, truly real. So here's the reality here. Chelsea are not getting relegated. And Chelsea are not going to be in a relegation battle. They're just not. Because despite how trash the recruitment is, there's too much quality in this Chelsea team for them to be relegated. And this is what I always said, and I said this last year. Chelsea won't get relegated because of how good they are. They won't get relegated just by how much worse everyone else is. As bad as Chelsea are, Sheffield United, Luton, Burnley, Bournemouth, they're simply worse. So as bad as Chelsea, they're simply worse. But what is so aggravating is, forget about the whole relegation talk. That's not what Chelsea are about. It's about this. Because the scary reality right now is, are Chelsea now a mid-table team? Are Chelsea no longer a big club? I'll never accept that. I'll never accept, as long as this jersey is here, I'll never accept that Chelsea will always be a big club. They will always will be. They are moving like a mid-table club, and that's why I'm fighting back. That's why I'm so vociferous here, because you ain't gonna do this, bro. I will not allow you to turn one of the biggest clubs in the world, a team that has UCL heritage, into a mid-table club. I will not allow you. I refuse. It's just not happening. Chelsea are a big club and will always be a big club, and they will always be a big club. Okay, we've won too many UCLs. We've won too many European trophies. So based on all those European trophies that we've won, I refuse to accept. I refuse to accept it. So we'll see what happens. So again, my assessment here is this. So just to round off, the issue are the owners. The issue is the direction. The issue is the recruitment. And what these guys have done is, you've turned Chelsea into a mid-table club that's now a project. And you think that this is baseball or the NBA or NFL, where you can build towards a process. Processes in football, they don't work. Wenger tried, he failed. Wenger tried this already. He tried to do this and it didn't happen. In modern football right now, especially when you spend this amount of money, it doesn't work. You spend this amount of money, you've got to win today, you've got to win now. If you have no money to spend, you've got to be patient. Arteta had to be patient because you don't have great money to spend. If you've spent $1 billion, I'm sorry. And before I go, to all those numbskulls, those morons, those idiots, those dimwits, those brainless losers who say that this was always coming based on Abramovich. You know, when Abramovich got Lukaku, he was top scorer in Serie. I don't know who the hell Nico Jackson is. I know who Janet Jackson is. I know who Michael Jackson is. I know Tito Jackson. I know the Jackson 5. I don't know who the hell Nico Jackson is. This is just some random guy. Yes, Lukaku flopped. But when they got Lukaku, he was top 5 strikers in Europe, based on him leading Inter to the Scudetto. When they got Timo Werner was statistically seen as one of the most lethal strikers in Europe and one of the best strikers in the Bundesliga. Now, they didn't work, but they were highly rated. Nico Jackson, Gusto, I mean, just random guys. Mudryk. So my thing is, don't put it on Abramovich. He did do everything right, and he made mistakes. But what these guys are doing is criminal. It's scandalous. These guys, they're running a scam. It's a scandal. It's a scam. It's shout out to Kerry Washington. This is scandal. Kerry Washington, what up? This is scandal. It's scandalous. They've turned one of the biggest clubs into the world. They've turned one of the biggest clubs in the world into a mid-table meme banter team.